Hey you guys, alright, so here's a peek at the card that I am working on. As you saw in my heat embossing video, I was making a card with pumpkins, and I actually did complete that card, but unfortunately I ended up taking it over my friend's house and I left it there. So now I have to make it all over, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go ahead and knock it out before I go to bed tonight. But I want to show you a little bit of the process, because I used some really cool, fun things. Yeah, it's like, why own all these stamping products if you don't use them? Oh my gosh. Okay, so in this, which you probably kind of noticed in the card, I did use the Stampin' Up! Brick and mortar embossing folder, which I just think is so beautiful. Like, I have so many different embossing folders, and I have about like 5 brick embossing folders by different companies, and this one is just like one of the best ones. It's so super cute. So this card does have that in the back a little, just for some texture. And I also, what actually started this card off with me using it was because I had a couple pieces laying off to the side as scraps from another project I did, and I was like, oh, I can put this on this card. And then that's what got me to use it for the background, and also as like a little banner for my sentiment strip. So it's also going to be in the forefront. And as you guys know, my favorite Stampin' Up! Color, or just dye color, is Night of Navy. I just think it's beautiful. So that's what inspired me to bust out my Copics, and also color my pumpkins blue. And as you can see here, I actually practiced with my coloring a little more. So I definitely like the shading I did here, compared to the first set of pumpkins that you saw in the heat embossing video. But again, like I said, I'm learning how to use my Copics. Crafting, it's just all about practicing. Just practice, practice, practice. And same goes with the Copics. But yeah, if you guys want me to come on and show you how I colored these, I will do so. And you know, I might just do it for my own sanity too, so I know how my coloring is progressing over the years, because you know, the more you read, and yes, I do have some books on how to Copic color. Actually just got some in the mail, and I did sign up for some online classes like years ago, and I still have passcodes and such for that. But nothing beats actually just getting your hands dirty, just actually getting in and trying different colors. And you know, as you guys can see, I have like a plethora of Copics, and I have my whole bin over here, and I have, like, you know, my hex chart. Like, I am pretty serious, and I'm just enjoying the process, and I'm just enjoying learning how to blend and do different color combinations. And I wanted to start off doing blue pumpkins for fall because it's my favorite color. I love fall. I love pumpkins. Why not? Who says all pumpkins have to be orange? All right. So anyhow, now what I'm going to get, because I'm like, I might as well just do this on camera. I'm going to go in my scrappy drawer over here, which I'll show you guys one day. I'll do a little tour, but in my drawer, I have a bunch of not embossing folders. I have a bunch of stencils. So these are my stencils, and you probably saw that I have one of my brushes out, because what I did was actually stenciled, I used that stencil to blend a background for this card. And flat, put this here. Actually, I don't know why I didn't do that. Sorry, y'all. There's a method. Usually I just match up, make sure this is on the line. Okay, and then I move and shake. Okay, so yep, you just want to make sure it's lined up so everything looks nice and you don't have things at a weird angle. And this is not the piece of white that I actually want to stencil. Sorry. I don't even know where I got this piece of paper from. I'm like, this isn't even a part of the card I'm working on. Jeepers, Latoya. All right. Yeah, I already have my cardstock pre-cut. I went and did all that off camera, so it's easy to just put it together. So I'm taking this small piece here, and I'm gonna line it up here. Okay. I'm gonna press. Okay, and I'm gonna line this up like so. I just want it over the edge just a little bit. And take this tape and tape that down, just in a couple spots. And I reuse this tape. Like, I'll even use this tape to keep my ribbon in place. Painter's tape is great. And that's one of the little unknown crafty secrets, using painter's tape for stuff. Okay, cool. So that works. I used to have that pixie spray, and actually I think I still have it. I might actually need to do a giveaway. Surprise, if you're actually one of the people listening to this video. I am planning on doing a giveaway because I have a lot of things that I purged and just got rid of, and I got to get rid of stuff. And instead of just tossing it, I actually want to give some things to people that can use it. Because there's some stamp sets that I've actually bought multiples of, which is pretty sad but true. So yeah. Anyways, that'll be for the next video, because then I'll have everything gathered, so on and so forth. All right, so to stencil, I have my chosen ink, which of course is Night of Navy. I have my Tailored Expression brush, super cute. I actually bought those, but I did not buy the stand because I don't have space for all that jazz. So it's just in my little carousel over here. And then I have my microfiber cloth, which you saw I cleaned off my my space before I started. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit just so you guys can see, because yeah, let's see here. Sorry, still trying to get used to this camera. All right, so here we go. Just gonna load this up and start blending. Sorry, I see like specks on here. I don't want that blended into my paper. I'm so anal. I'll see like one small thing and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And I'm actually gonna push this flat too, because I'm not a perfectionist, but man, crafting just really brings it out in you. See, like that there. I wish I had something to get that, but I can't. It's fine. It's like a little hair. Okay, it's fine, because I don't think I'm gonna go that high up. But yeah, it's really weird because I didn't think that I was gonna be such a perfectionist, you know? And I really try not to be like, oh, this has to be done like this, blah, blah, blah. But it's weird. It's like certain things I just want to look certain ways and I can't help it. And I'll spend time like over analyzing things. Like if I don't do it, I'll just be thinking about it. So for me, what I've learned is that it's a lot better for me to just do something. Like if I see something that I want to add to a card, I might as well just add it, because I'm going to be thinking about it until the end of time. And then I'll regret it and I'll be like, oh, well, I should have done this. Okay. So as you can see, I'm just building up this color here. Like, I love how rich Night of Navy is. It's just gorgeous. And I'm just swiveling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just making it really dark and stark. Now, some people blend over here on this side. I don't care. Oh, and speaking of blending, we might as well talk about paper, because I'm sure someone is probably wondering about that. So I am using Nina Solar White. This is the 80-pound cardstock. Now, I've heard things about blending with this cardstock, that it's extremely hard to get a really good blend with it. That it's not very smooth. And that's for like the distressed ink blending. Okay, now I have to start doing what I want to do, which is starting over here. And all of that may actually be true. I personally have not tried blending yet with my distress inks on this, but I will definitely make a video about that. Okay, so now I'm starting to think, and when I'm thinking, I don't really talk a lot, so forgive me as I start to figure out how I'm going to do this fade here. Okay. Okay, so I actually think that might be it. Let's take a peek. I mean, hopefully, because okay, I think that's good. All right, so I got really quiet. Just because when you're blending and you're trying to think and everything, it's like I went just a tad higher than I wanted to. Here at the bottom, I built up such a tall wall of darkness. I needed to give myself enough space to create, pardon me, to create a nice gradient, but I still wanted to leave a little bit of white space. And literally, like when I make cards, I usually don't leave a lot of white space. But for this card design, it's actually like aesthetically pleasing to me anyhow. So I decided to leave it. So there you go. This is me using the stencil, and literally it only took a couple minutes. I really like this finished product, and that's me using the Stampin' Up! Ink, and you see how smooth it is. But again, this is stenciling. I still need to experiment with the distress inks, which I own all of them. I do own all of the Tim Holtz distress inks. And speaking of which, I just got in the mail as a present to myself with all of my stressful nursing and things that have been going on. I got Speckled Egg, and I actually also got Campfire. It's called Campfire something, whatever the new color is, because I saw someone else use it and I saw the comparisons. And I'm like, okay, that color is different enough from what I own for me to purchase that, and it'll look good with other ones. And I mean, you know, end of the day, I don't use these a ton. So, I mean, it comes out to be cheap. If you take how much the ink is and divide it by how many cards you would get out of it, how many uses you would get, and you do the, you know, division on it, like it comes out to like cents. So it's definitely worth it. So I decided to purchase these, and I also have, like I said, the Campfire ones. So that's going to be something for me to do and fun, and I will do that on camera. Okay, so my fingers are blue, and this is blue. So whatever has ink on it, like this, I'm probably just going to toss it just because I don't want to get anything else a color. I'm going to take my stencil and throw it in the sink really quickly and rinse it, because that's important. Yes, I actually did do that. I had to. Sorry. You have to take care of your stuff, you guys. Okay, and now I'm going to clean off my area. So I'm taking my microfiber cloth. You can easily get this at Walmart, any of those stores. It's like, what, $3 for a pack? It's very cheap. And then just throw them in the wash. And look, my area is clean. And that is also how I clean off my brushes. Now, I usually just try to use my brushes for the dedicated colors. Like use my blue with all blues and all that jazz. Like my dark blue with dark blues and then my light blue with light blues, so on and so forth. But I still like to clean my brushes. The only sad thing is how much ink you're wasting. So just scrub. Give it a scrub. Alrighty, so I recolored some pumpkins. Just so I could practice some more. And I do like how these turned out. Again, new at Copic coloring, so I used a bunch of these. I am going to actually cut these out via fussy cutting, just to show you guys that I am not a card snob, that I can... I'm sorry, not a card snob, but that I'm not a snob. Like, I can actually cut things out. I'm perfectly capable of doing so. I don't have to use my machine for every single thing. And plus, I decided to actually use those cut images for something else. So these I just recolored really quickly. And again, if you are interested, let me know. I can make a video on how I'm learning to Copic color and how I'm trying to enhance my coloring skills. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of following the pumpkin, but I'm leaving a bit of an outline, like you would do if you would put it in your scan and cut. Just because I personally love the outline look. How cute is that? Oh, I love that color. It's so deep. Like, it is just beautiful. Okay. I am like a huge fan of cobalt. Cobalt, blue, royal blue. Like, those are my favorite colors. And I own like a lot of cardigans and skirts in this color. It just really pops against, I'd say it's like a universal color. I don't think it's only suited for one, you know, or a few skin tones in particular. I think it's just lovely. And I'm sorry if I sound a little hoarse. I'm going to bed soon. It's actually, it's past midnight. I know. Terrible me, right? But I was on a roll. I did a little masking video, and then I was looking at some things for coloring, and now I'm doing this, and I'm like, you know, I just want to complete a project before I go to bed. I do plan on completing a project in the morning tomorrow before I go off to work also. Now when I compare these, I think my outline for this is a little thicker, so I'm actually gonna just quickly run through and just reduce this line a little. And while I'm doing this, let's talk about anxiety. So one thing that I believe has stopped me from being fast at stamping, which I've, as of late, have come to work on, I've actually gotten faster, is because, one, I would just get overwhelmed with the amount of supplies I own, thinking every single thing needed to be organized. And yes, although I did organize like my primary things, like my desk, and figured out what inks I needed and what dyes I was missing, like certain dyes that I wanted to use to make various projects and such. I still, like, I don't have my stamps organized by category like I would like, and I don't have my stencils organized. Like, there's just some things that I haven't tackled, and that's okay because I don't need all of that to be done for me to craft or enjoy crafting. I can do it without having that finished. So I had to get a grip on that. And then next, a big thing that you probably noticed with my Copics is I needed to figure out how to color. It's like I own all of these markers and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And even though I invested in a few Copic classes online, you know, just watching the videos, it's completely different from actually practicing and not being afraid to just put ink to paper and practice and throw away images because, you know, things aren't coming out like you want. Like this hobby, it's a fun hobby, but there definitely is a learning curve to it. And if you overthink and don't just do, it's hard for you to progress and get good, but you can become anxious like me with thinking, oh my gosh, well, what if I don't do this? Or what if I'm not good enough for this? Or what if I don't own this? Or when am I supposed to do blah, blah, blah? If this happens, well, if I'm not attempting to do this, it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to do anything. So how am I supposed to get good if I'm not even trying? So that was a part of the problem. Like I'd get so anxious about what to do, but I wasn't doing anything to practice to see what I would do in that instance. Does that make sense? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to redo cards. Like it was just, I don't know, like talking about it sounds kind of crazy, but when you're actually doing it, it's completely different. Like I'll work on a card and then I'll see things that I want to improve or tweak or change. And I'm like, there's no way I'm restarting this whole card. So I will try my darndest with that card to alter the things that I want to alter so that I get a finished product that I like so that I'm not disappointed. And sometimes you might have to sit that said project down and come back to it later if you are stumped, like I get with layouts. I get very stumped. And sometimes I just have to come back to it, you know? And one thing I noticed that I can't do that some other people might be able to do is I can't watch other people craft while I craft because I have a habit of comparing myself, which might sound really weird. But I will start comparing how good of a crafter I am to that person I'm watching. And it's insane because I could be watching someone that's been crafting for, you know, 40 years. And here I am just now learning how to color with Copics. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just become intimidated suddenly and I can't focus on what I'm doing. So usually when I craft, I listen to like a podcast or listen to a movie or, you know, the news. Sometimes I try not to listen to the news because it puts me in a bad mood. But again, I like being informed. So I try to mix in like some comedians that do the news and such too, and with it so that I can also get a good laugh in between the sadness. But yeah, I have a habit of comparing myself, so I try not to watch others. And that might be something like if you're new to crafting, you know, you might also want to avoid, or just having up like your Pinterest boards and ideas. You get so sucked into looking that you don't craft because you're just scrolling through stuff other people have made. Like, what? Come on. Like, what's the point? You have to create. Like, this is your time to create. Like, when I finally make it home, I'm like, okay, it's me time. I need to do something. I can't just watch other people do like I need to do because I only have so much time, literally, on Earth. Oh, okay, well, look at that. I feel so accomplished. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. So yeah, so hopefully, you know, if you're a bit of an anxious crafter also, hopefully this little chat has helped. There's nothing wrong with practicing. You need to practice and you need to just do. And at the end of the day, it is paper. It is okay to make mistakes. You can always restamp. You can always get more ink. I know everything costs money, and that's one of the reasons why it's like, oh, this sucks. But you know, end of the day, you're crafting to have fun and be happy and find some fulfillment, and hopefully you can figure out, you know, what's going on so that you don't have that stress that I am also very familiar with. I feel like my desk is looking a bit crooked here on this camera. Alrighty. So I'm gonna finish this card. So I went through my embellishment bin already, and if you don't have one of those, I suggest you create one. I'll show that in another video, as it's almost 12:30. Ugh, and I've been up way too long. Fudge cake. And notice everybody kind of sings. Why do we all sing? I can't find what I'm looking for. Hold on. Alrighty. So this ribbon here is the Stampin' Up! Ribbon. I just used some painter's tape to keep my ribbon down. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. And then this ribbon here is just from Joann's. I'm going to have some beautiful gold embellishments. So originally when I made this card, I was not going for gold at all, like I said, because I did not want my card to be that elevated. I wanted it to be more subtle. To me, when I see gold on a card, I think like it's kind of fancy. It's going to someone that, you know, just really appreciates more elegant looking things. That's kind of what gold does for me. It just makes things appear more elegant. So, you know, it's not exactly like something I would want to give to like a little kid. But who knows, because some kids might be like, oh my gosh, it's so shiny, I love that. But you know, you guys know what I mean. Different recipients kind of like different things. All right. So it's okay, because the second card I made with these pumpkins, which I'll, you know, also come on and show you guys, that card hits what I was going for style wise. So I don't mind this one having black. Sorry, I'm just in love with my fall pumpkins. Alrighty, so we're gonna put this together. And so I'm going to use my Art Glitter Glue adhesive, because this this panel here has so much detail. I really want to make sure every nook and cranny has glue on it. And I actually need to buy another bottle. So as far as supplies go, once things are like half full, once I'm down to like half, is when I typically like to buy another, because I know I'll be out soon. I don't wait till it's down to a quarter. For paper, I actually just bought a new ream of Solar Nina White cardstock. That's what I use for my bases. It gives me a really nice thick base, and you guys know I love layering, so I need that desperately. Give me a moment while I line this up. So let's see here. Okay, my base is about to go on. And this does give you a little, like, you have a few seconds to move it about. So that's what I also like about this. And then I'm just gonna press. Okay, super. And now I'm going to put this together. It's weird trying to decide what side of the 90 Navy cardstock I want to use. Okay, so same thing, my glue here. But yeah, I ordered another Ream 250 pack of Solernina white cardstock. But with cardstock, what I do is once I'm down to one pack, because I buy 2 of each, once I'm down to one pack is when I reorder, just because I color so much and I pretty much use that cardstock for everything. I don't want to be without, like, I don't want to risk it at all. And that's the 80 pound, you know, white cardstock, but that also goes for the 250 pound. Okay, so here we go. And the cardstocks I use, apart from the Nina Solar White and Natural, I use the Stampin' Up cardstock. I love the colors. Let's move that over just a little bit. Okay. Come on. Only thing I don't like, and you guys will probably notice, I always have a piece of paper towel handy because I might get like sweaty palms when I card make, because I'm so nervous, and because it's dye ink you're working with. When you go to press things on and such, it reacts with water. So I don't want to have my sweaty palms affect my pieces of artwork, which is another thing. You guys will not see me snack while I'm crafting. There's no snacks on this desk. There is nothing. Like, literally, I need my hands as clean as possible because I am so anal. So I don't see how people do it. Like, craft and eat. Like, this hobby actually makes me, it's helping me stick to my weight loss goals, because when I'm crafting, I am not thinking about food. I'm not trying to get food. Nope. It is nowhere on my radar. Okay, so now, and I only know how to put this card together because I've made it once before. I'm going to go ahead and put down this small piece of embossing folder brick, the brick and mortar embossing folder piece that basically started this card. Like I said, this was a scrap piece off to the side from another project I had, and then I was like, oh, this will actually look good with this background that I had over here forever. I'm going to put these two together. And then from there, I decided on making this background panel with this brick and mortar embossing folder from Stampin' Up. And that helps decide my layout, because I wanted this embossing folder panel to show. So then I decided to place this matte layer off to the side. There was no outlet for this. I'm sorry, where did I get the word outlet? You know, it's almost 1 a.m. I'm tired. There was no layout for this. I pretty much just thought, hey, this is what I want to show. How can I best show this? And I've kind of moved things around. To some people, this might seem pretty simple. But to me, I'm, you know, kind of proud of it, because I'm like, hey, I moved this matting over to the side, and oh, look, it's a layout, and that's like my design. Whatever. But again, since I struggle so much with card layouts, I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so what we're doing for this piece here, we're going to put this across both of these mats that we put together. And I'm actually just going to use this tape for this part. Sometimes, you know, I'm like, ah, yeah, art glitter glue, and sometimes I actually mix them because I don't care. I know, I'm so weird. Does anybody else do that? They're just like, oh, I'm just going to use both. This already had some tape on it, which is why I was like, let me just go ahead and use the tape even further. Okay. And always open your card to make sure you are working on the right side. I know from experience. All right, so I want to put this. So right now I'm figuring out where the images are going, which is going to dictate where this goes and where this goes. Okay, so right here. throw those off. And now we're just gonna stick this down. Let's give it a good press. And that glues off to the side. That glue will dry. I'm not that concerned about it. Just give that a good press. Okay. And you always hope things are perfect and perfectly lined up. Hey, sometimes they're not. Oh well. I have a little small piece of white here off on the edge, so I'm just gonna cut that like super small. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my ribbon, and this was the ribbon from the 3-pack from Stampin' Up, and I can't remember, but this is the Night of Navy ribbon. And the whole reason why I bought that 3-pack, the 3-ribbon pack, was because this was the only Night of Navy in the current catalog. Like, it's in the catalog right now. My scissors are sticking to the magnet. That sucks. That's one thing you have to watch out for with your Misty, is suddenly you'll get some magnet action and then you'll be like, oh no. Okay. But I love this. I love how thin it is, and I love the color. I am actually going to give away the other ribbon out of the 3-pack. And I say the other ribbon because there's only one I want to get rid of. The other one I'm going to keep, just because it's not really my style. But this one is so gorgeous. I'm definitely going to buy another one just because I want this. And I wasn't able to find anything similar at Michael's or Joann's. I do have this beautiful ribbon here, which is more shiny, which is like a Night of Navy color, but it still isn't this here, which is so sweet. Okay, so anyways, you saw I took the Night of Navy ribbon, threw it across here to measure what I needed, and now I'm just going to go ahead and place it in the middle and tape it down. Because this ribbon is so light and nice, I don't need to use anything in particular. What I will say is make sure your art glitter glue is capped with the needle point here, because it will dry out. So I'm going to add a little tape here on each side, because this tape actually does really well with this Night of Navy. Just going to place this so that it's at the halfway point, like in between, and then bend it over. Okay, looking good. And now I'm going to take my sentiment, a little sentiment and banner that I made, and double check, make sure it's on the side that I want to use, and just run this over it. Now you probably notice I run my finger across the area, the outline, after I run my tape along it. It's just to make sure no tape is showing on the edges, just because sometimes it can and it's not attractive. So now I need to move this over. Okay, it's looking good. So it's gonna go there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, I think I need to move my ribbon up on this side a little bit. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just gonna do just a little tape, because I don't want it, I need it to just stay in place while I get ready to put down my pumpkins, but I don't want to put it down yet. Okay. Alrighty, so this panel, now if you've already decided whether or not you're going to pop up your panel or not, you can do that, because then you can basically place your card together. Since I have nothing else that's going to go on my mats, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and then I can just do the finishing touches on my card, so to speak. And I'm going to zoom in for this so you guys can see a little bit more. Plus, I'm just excited. I can, like, you know, show you guys my card and what I'm doing and how I zoom in and how I like put together a card. I will definitely say I was pretty nervous about sharing how I make cards. You would not believe. I don't know. It's just something about just sharing how you do things and allowing people to come in and judge you at this level. It's pretty intense. Pretty intense. So lots of art glitter glue, which again, I'm reminding myself that I need to purchase some tomorrow because I'm at my halfway point. And just a note, if you're new, when you put glue on your edges, you want to make sure that you don't have like really huge splotches, because when you go to press your paper down, that's going to seep out on the sides and it will ruin your card. Like if you have a homemade background paper and you're using dye ink, this glue will actually cause that color to change, and it'll look just really muddled and ugly. So just make sure, like what I'm doing with my cap here, is I'm just pushing that glue in and getting rid of like those boluses, so that when I adhere it, it's flat. Like here, there's too much there. Okay. All right, cool, nice. Here we go. It's always so stressful. Putting your mats together and your layers together, it's kind of stressful. Because you're like, oh, I want it to look perfect. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm adhering this panel to my embossed mat, and I'm not going to let it hang over on this white edge. So I want to be really careful with this. So I'm just gonna lift it up to check, and then move it down and over. Okay, and now I'm just gonna take a piece of printer paper to press it down, because again, I have sweaty palms and I do not want to ruin my card with my sweaty palms. I'm just gonna give it a nice press. But all right, and if you notice anything is propped up, you can use like take your art glitter glue, open it up, and then press it down. So I just see a little piece of, here we go, paper just hanging out here. You guys are probably like, ah, that's dangerous. Sorry. All right. So everything looks great. Just going to give this another press here. And you can always go back and add a little glue. All right. So now that that's done, how nice. You can see the board. It's just nice because you can appreciate all of the work you did, all the layers. I just wanted it to show. Okay. So now the pumpkins. And my pumpkins are 3 different sizes, and I'm only going to work with 3. I think I want to do that. I'm wondering if I want to use this other one that's a different size. Yeah. Perfect. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take my little embellishments. So what I normally do when I'm working on a card is I, figure out what images I want to use. And then I figure out what ribbon I'm going to use, because more than likely I'll always add some ribbon. And sequins and gems and such are kind of like a new thing for me. But I also decide what I'm going to use, and then I add those. And again, it's a new thing for me, so I don't own, a lot. I do like what I do have. And I do plan on getting a few more in the future. Just because I do like how it looks, like the nice, what would I say? I like the look that gems and sequences add to cards, but I don't like things to look overly gaudy. And again, it's another expense. These things can be, quite expensive. It's not something that you need, but it's a nice touch to elevate your cards if that's what you're looking for. I'm all about texture again, so you can create texture with a number of things, but also adding gems and sequences can give you that also. All right, so after you figure out how you're going to place those, which I think this is... I think that's what I'm going to do. This one over here is killing me. Yeah, I think that's it. 9. I wish I just had a little size smaller, but I don't. Jeepers, y'all. It's not doing what I want it to do. Lots of contemplation going on here. Like, I don't want to omit that one entirely because I feel like I need it. Geez, but I don't know. I know, see, this is why making cards on camera is so hard, because right now I have this struggle about placement for a darn sequence. Crazy, right? All right, so I'm thinking of that. I know I definitely like these two. I know I like that. I know I like the pumpkins, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with what I know, which I encourage you to do. Because it... I just looked at the time. I need to go to bed. Like I really do. Okay, anyways. So I encourage you to go with what you know. Because this is where you can get paralyzed. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. So I'm a bit stuck because I'm not sure where to put this sequence. And it's a little unnerving. Seems a little ridiculous, but yeah. And normally I don't place my foam pop-ups like this, but for some reason I decided to do this like this just now, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I like that. Anyways, I wanted to pop up the pumpkins, so this is how I'm doing it. It's like 3 minutes till 1 a.m. It's time. It's like high tide for me to go to bed. I need to go to bed. But I really want to come on and show you guys how I'm doing this card. Oh, and hi to all my new followers also. Nice to meet you guys. And thanks for trekking along with me in my crafty journey, my nurse/crafty journey. And yes, I do have to work tomorrow, which is why I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed. So this banner, pretty sure I like it. And I definitely like where I put the bling on that. The first card I made, that was where I also put the bling. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that down. Because to me, it's in the right spot. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put the sentiment down. Now, I'm going to use my other glue for a ribbon, just because I want to make sure that this sentiment bar sticks. So this is ribbon glue, which I just discovered this year. Again, crafting, you got to figure out what you need. What do you need it for? And all that jazz. So I found the ribbon glue that I'd never used until now. And there were like a few that I was using, but none really worked. And then I got this stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, it's about time. Like, this was what I was looking for. So. It's looking good. Okay. Okay. Oh, I need to put this pumpkin inside the card. I'm trying to think, which pumpkin do I want to use? Because I think I want to use this one for something else. It's fine. I'll make more pumpkins. It doesn't matter. You guys are probably like, oh my gosh, why is she using her tape and art glitter glue interchangeably? I just do. So something I always do is whatever I have on the outside, I put on the inside. So whether it's the hand-drawn image or embellishments, I put it inside my card because it gives the card a little something extra, I personally think. And I personally think I need to go to bed, and I keep saying it, and I'm not doing it. That is about to change. Okay. Now, where am I going to put this? Okay, that's good. Right there. It was just too far out in space. So like I said, I don't like crafting with pressure. And I feel like if I craft on camera, there's that pressure. But yeah, it'll help me be more decisive. But at the same time, it's like there's some things that just take a while to figure out. I'm embellishment placement is one of those things. So then I just feel bad because I want to just record things in real time, but yeah. So if you stuck with me throughout this whole video, you rock. Thank you. And I hope my blabbling throughout has helped give you insight into my card making. If you're new or if you're a novice or if you're way better than me, you know, I don't know. Hopefully, you enjoyed it and like seeing me mix up different stamp sets to create something just absolutely, I mean, I think beautiful, but at the same time, we all have different styles for card making. This is my first fall card and I absolutely love it. And now it is 1:01 and I need to take myself to bed. So you guys have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure you do something crafty that makes your heart happy, because my heart is full right now and I'm absolutely elated, but I'm going to be a little sleep deprived. So bye.